Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're completely shattering some, frankly, incredibly outdated assumptions about SEO metrics and AI content. We're looking at the latest data from HighDegree Marketing's issue 19, and honestly, we're just throwing out the old rulebook. So, if you've been sitting there wondering why your traffic has totally flatlined even though you're doing everything right, well, you are in the perfect place. We're going to build a resilient new playbook for the evolving web.
Here's our roadmap for today. We've got the GSC data illusion, AI content ranking reality, where influence actually happens, the Google agent shift, and finally, the new marketing playbook. Let's dive right in.
All right, Section 1, the GSC data illusion, exposing the truth behind your dashboard.
It's literally the question every single digital marketer asks, right? Is my organic SEO actually working? But recently, we've discovered something wild. Your search metrics might actually be lying to you. Or at the very least, they've been wearing a really good disguise, kind of masking what's actually driving people to your site.
So, for years, SEOs use these messy workarounds, like regex filters, just to separate out the people searching for their specific brand name from the people discovering them purely organically. But when Google rolled out a native branded query filter in late 2025, the reality was, frankly, shocking. One major e-commerce brand tested that old regex method against the new native filter, and wow, their brand share instantly dropped from almost 40% all the way down to 21%. Basically, their non-brand organic discovery traffic was actually contributing almost double what their old flawed reports were telling them.
The crucial takeaway here is that your actual search discovery work was likely getting a ton of credit it just didn't earn. Think about it. When someone hears you speak on a podcast or they get a recommendation from a friend and then they Google your name, that isn't organic SEO discovery. That's just navigation. They already knew exactly who you were. This new filter fundamentally changes how we assess things. We have to ask, is our content strategy actually working, or is our brand awareness just doing all the heavy lifting out in the real world?
Moving on to Section 2, AI content ranking reality, the limits of unedited generation.
Let's just settle this endless debate on AI content right now. We've got this massive SEMrush study of 42,000 blog posts. Now yes, AI can rank, but let's look at the actual breakdown of who is capturing those coveted #1 spots. Purely AI-generated content? It takes the crown only 9% of the time. Meanwhile, human-written content is absolutely dominating at 80%. So, the human element isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's the overwhelming deciding factor in who actually wins that top placement.
And to truly understand the devastating decay of raw AI content, we got to look at this 16-month experiment run by Search Engine Land and SE Ranking. They unleashed thousands of AI articles across 20 brand new domains with zero, and I mean zero, human editing. In month 1, hey, things looked great. A really promising 28% ranked in the top 100. But by month 3, that plummeted to a mere 3%. And fast forward to month 16, the pages were still technically indexed, sure, but they were completely, effectively invisible in the search results. That initial traffic was basically just a flash in the pan before Google reassessed its true value.
Look, Google isn't penalizing the AI origin. They don't intrinsically hate AI. Rather, Google is sorting results by usefulness and trust. Thin, generic output gives searchers absolutely no reason to stay, and the algorithm totally knows it. This means you absolutely should use AI for researching, outlining, drafting. That is your undeniable speed advantage right there. But you have got to inject your own expertise, your original angles, and your sharp editorial judgment before hitting publish, because that is where your ranking advantage actually lives.
Okay, Section 3, where influence actually happens, rethinking your channel strategy.
73%. That massive number is Google's staggering command of all search traffic. It makes Google the single biggest destination on the entire web, the undisputed giant of the internet economy. But here's a massive reality check. Consider this for a second. Google mostly acts as a middleman. People arrive with their intent already formed. So if you're only optimizing for search, you're just showing up at the very tail end of a buyer's journey that you had absolutely no hand in shaping. Real influence, the kind that actually shapes what people want, who they trust, and who they eventually buy from, is highly fragmented. It's forming on news sites, in private messaging apps, through email newsletters, in deep inside these little niche communities. This ambient awareness across all these alternative channels is what builds deep, lasting trust. And that trust, well, that's exactly what eventually turns into the branded search traffic we untangled earlier with our GSC data. To truly succeed today, you've got to think light years beyond just rankings.
Section 4. The Google Agent Shift. The new crawler you didn't invite.
Now, this is brand new infrastructure, and you need to be ready for it. Unlike the traditional Google bot, which just crawls your site to index content so it can be found later, Google has added a new fetcher called Google Agent. This crawler visits your pages because a real, actual person asked an AI agent like Google's Project Mariner to complete a task for them right then and there. This represents a massive fundamental shift on the web. We're moving from search and click to search and do.
You need to take a few steps right now to ensure your website is prepared for this AI-driven task completion traffic. First up, check your server logs immediately to see if Google Agent is already knocking on your door. Second, audit your site from a machine's perspective. If an AI lands on your page, is your information structured clearly enough that a bot can easily parse it to, say, book a service or fill out a form? And third, definitely double-check that your anti-bot security tools aren't accidentally blocking Google Agent. You don't want to effectively shut yourself out of this entirely new traffic source.
Finally, Section 5. The new marketing playbook, surviving the evolving web.
Clean data is completely useless if your content strategy just falls apart under scrutiny. Just look at the old myths versus the hard data we've covered today. Relying on inflated metrics, raw, unedited AI generation, and a search-only focus, that's a one-way ticket to irrelevance in today's landscape. The old playbook is broken.
So here is your actual formula for success moving forward. Leverage AI for speed, absolutely, but rely heavily on human substance for quality and originality. Make sure you're looking at clean reporting by using the new native GSC filters to separate your actual brand power from your SEO power. And most importantly, build a broad, omni-channel presence. You want to generate ambient awareness long before someone even opens a search bar.
I'll leave you with this provocative thought to ponder. As search rapidly evolves from a simple directory into an intelligent, agent-driven ecosystem acting on behalf of the user, ask yourself, are you just trying to get a click, or is your digital presence truly optimized to help a user and their AI agent take real, meaningful action? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. If you want to dive deeper into building strategies that actually work in this new landscape, be sure to check out serplabsseo.com. See you next time.